Okay, we are alive. We are alive. So there you go. And let me see if I can switch this to the little Treasury logo just for fun. Yeah, there we go. We got the little Treasury logo. Hey Google, turn on living room lights. All right, and we should be live, and it looks like we've got audio on mic 1. And I'm going to get the video ready so I can play it. I'm going to probably replace yesterday's video with this video, by the way. That's kind of my plan. So let me see how this is looking. All right. And yes, it is looking good. And let me know, folks, that audio sounds a little bit strong. Sounds a little bit strong on mic 1. Let me know if that audio is too hot. I'll wait until some folks come in. Let me get my headphones on here for a second just to double check this. Testing 1 2 1 2. It sounds good in the headphones. I wonder how it sounds on the broadcast. Let me know when you get in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and play the video. As a matter of fact, I might go ahead and play that now just to get that out of the way. Let me switch to the laptop and go full screen. Kyle's in the house. How's that audio sound? How's that audio sound, Kyle? Let me know what you think. And he says sounds good. Okay, I'm going to play the video clip real quick here.
All right, up there, everybody. It is the last J-World Thursday night race, which T2P is here to film. I'm Ashley Love, our producer. Joining us from behind the camera this evening, Bruce Nairn. And we are joined tonight by one of the sponsors who is making all of this video coverage possible for the whole summer. Steve, tell us about Little Treasury and why you're here tonight.
Okay, well, Little Treasury is a all-purpose jewelry store in Crofton, Maryland. We sell watches, bridal, do all kinds of repair, very friendly. We actually sell watches and jewelry all over the country, both online and by phone, as well as our walk-in customers. We've been around for about 20 years and hope for many more.
Yes, I've been to your store. It's just gorgeous. It was hard not to just want to dive into all the beautiful things you have.
We encourage diving, actually.
Yes, you have a lot of dive watches and watches that are great for sailors. What are you wearing? What are you wearing here?
It's a ball watch. It's called the Engineer Hydrocarbon, and it is extremely rugged. I've had it for a good while. And
it looks brand new.
It looks brand new.
Yeah.
It's rugged and stands up to a lot of abuse, which I give it from time to time, like being out on the boat here.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to start with the symmetrical boats, which are the J22s and the J24s.
Okay.
20 seconds to go.
Pause it right there, and there you go. And you can see the whole video. The link is in the description. Dave Williams says the video background music is a distraction. Yeah, a lot of these producers like to put a lot of music in the background, and sometimes it's pretty loud. And I'm not a fan, but that's what the hipsters are doing these days. They're probably the same ones that are buying the ugly steel watches and wearing them, and actually wearing the watches. That's what we're seeing sometimes. And sometimes they're paying way too much for the steel stunners. Steel stunners, if you will. They're paying a lot of money. That's what we're running into. All right, so I wanted to just run that again because yesterday's was such a fail. And I'm probably going to delete yesterday's show. So if there's anything that we mentioned that was important, we should probably mention it again. And I'm just going to let this one take the place of the previous show, if you will. And so you just double check everything here. Yeah, everything's looking good. So yeah, let me know if there's anything we should any ground that we should plow again. And let's check out camera 3 just because we can. There's the 002 stunner. The 002 stunner on the bench and 18 karat yellow gold. And of course I've got the 231 on wrist. Both came from Little Treasury. LittleTreasury.com is the URL. LittleTreasury.com. And here's a close-up. Pretty amazing. Look at that stunning bracelet. Much more attractive than an oyster bracelet, a Rolex oyster bracelet. Much more attractive. Not even a close call. And extremely well finished, extremely well made. So there you go. Okay, just figured I'd troll the Rolex folks a little bit there. I don't know if anybody's around. It's about a minute after. Coming up on a minute after the hour, and Kyle's in the house and David Williams are in the house, and there's some other folks in the house, but they have not chimed in on the comments yet. I'll tell you, I discovered a couple things about the Black Magic unit that don't really float my boat. I don't understand why they would do this, but there's a media section, and you can put different images in, and then you can show those images. And the problem is that, and I'll show you what it looks like here. The problem is when you shut down the unit and restart it, you lose all the images. You have to start over again. There's a bunch of images that I have in there. Okay, so I can show various images. And I go to the switcher here, and I can select. And by the way, this software overshoots. Let's see if I can drag it over. It overshoots the window size on the computer, and you can't resize the window. I mean, Blackmagic does some things that are kind of kludgy, I have to tell you. But anyway, right here is where I can select the still that I want to show. So let's say I want to show this macro shot here. See, I can just go and show it. Now you're seeing that on the broadcast. Okay, and this is the bug, the Little Treasury logo in the upper right hand corner. So it's kind of cool that I can show all these images. I'll kind of go through a few of them here. Here's a 002 on wrist, and here's another shot of the 002. And here's another shot, another shot, another shot. And these are all in the image, the media player they call it. And so, but the problem is if you shut the unit down, you've got to put all these in again, and you have to put them in individually. There's Steve with the Faux bracelet on. And there's the lovely Briefit Dance. There's her logo. See, some of them you can put in the corner as a downstream key. So anyway, playing around with it, but hopefully they'll update that in a software update, because it's kind of ridiculous that it doesn't save all your settings. You would think that when you set everything up, you would think when you shut it down, when you open it back up again, it would remember where you were, where you left off, and it would just have everything saved. And you can start from there, right? But you would be fooled. You would be fooled again. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to leave the unit running. We'll see what the duty cycle is on this thing, folks. It's going to run 24/7. We'll see if that burns that puppy out. And Lance is in the house, and the fake Clive is in the house. What are we going over today? We were talking about the ATEM Mini Pro and this software, the ATEM software control. that application. That's what we were just talking about a moment ago. And you see what else? I'm doing my billing next week. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting because things are getting dicey. Things are getting dicey. A lot of businesses are in deep, deep trouble. By the way, I heard a stat today on the radio, believe it or not. I heard that the Baltimore Schools, I don't know if this is a city system or the county system, which it is, but they spend $17,000 per student is basically their budget. And I don't know what that includes. I don't know if that includes, for example, the real estate opportunity cost. I doubt it. So actually the real cost would be more, significantly more, right, than $17,000 per student. But their budget is $17,000 per student. And what's interesting about that is those kids could go to a decent private school for that kind of money. You know, it's just absolutely insane that we're spending that kind of money on a garbage public school education. I can understand if the public school, if it costs, you know, $2,000 per student, obviously you wouldn't be able to send a kid to a private school for that, right? But you get up around $10,000 or more per student, especially $17,000, you can absolutely go to a very good private school. Not the best. The best might be $25,000 or something. I don't know what the going rate is, but you could definitely send them to a really good private school for $17,000. I'm going to say that, and I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to stick to it. Not much activity in the chat, and Lance hasn't sent anything in, so we'll see. We shall see what we shall see. Meanwhile, I'm going to shut down this, not shut it down, but I'm going to minimize this software. And get ready just in case. And you know who else we haven't seen? We haven't seen the lovely Brianna in the chat. Passing on the kid thing here. So you're saying that you're, whoops, excuse me. So you're saying that you're not going to have children, Kyle? Is that what you're saying? I don't blame you. Don't blame you one bit. Especially since a lot of them are growing up these days to be absolute brats. Absolute brats. Yeah. That's what's happening in some cases. So what else did we talk about here? Oh, we talked a little bit about the, I think we talked a little bit about the GOP convention, and the production quality was awesome. They really pulled out all the stops on their production quality. Too many reasons not to at this point. At this point. There you go. Long list, huh? Yeah. Some people say that it's that they're just amazing, and that, you know, it changes your life, and they're just, it's just, you know, just they just totally enamored. And some of them will have one child, and then we'll have several others to go along with it. I mean, they don't learn the first time, right? So that's interesting. That whole thing is interesting. I just don't know that I would have the patience for all that. I just think that it seems like it seems like a, see, I like things to be kind of organized, right? And that seems like a totally disorganized situation to me. What do you guys think about that? You think that's a little bit on the disorganized side of the spectrum? And David's in the house, and he's agreeing. He's agreeing. And Kyle says, I don't doubt that life would change forever. Well, at least for 18 years, right? It's an 18-year sentence. Oh boy. The way I look at it, I look at it the same way as boats, right? I like other people's boats. I like other people's children, right? It's great to be able to visit somebody that has kids and play with them and get them all riled up and then say, "Oh, bye, I got to go home," right? And and meanwhile the kids are all keyed up and like tearing the whole house up and everything else. And then you can go back home and they can stay there. So that kind of works. Let me think what else we were going to talk about. Did somebody post something in the forum? I'm thinking. Oh yeah. Somebody posted something in one of the Grand Seiko forums. And he asked the question, he said, "What do you all do about wearing a Grand Seiko?" He says he's concerned that because of the Zaratsu polishing, the polishing's so nice that you'll it'll get scratches that'll be easy to see, right? They'll show up because of that stunning Zaratsu polishing. And he was wondering what people do about that. And I responded, I said, listen, I've been wearing this 231 for more than 2 years now. And it looks great on wrist. It's holding up great. Does it have some fine little scratches here and there? Absolutely. But it looks really good. I mean, look at this. And so I said, I see it really as a non-issue. And so, and I've got a tiny little scratch on that one. You can see down there at 6 o'clock, down at about the 31.5-minute mark. See that little tiny scratch? So there's a little tiny scratch on the 002. Doesn't bother me one bit. I still wear it. Doesn't bother me one bit. Kevin D's in the house. Had my first in October at 44 years old. The key is, I think it means the key. The key is a young wife and savings. Well, if you have a young wife and she's energetic and she's willing to do all the work, then yeah, that's cool. And a good size home so that they can have their own area to disrupt, right? That might be a good play. Kevin is on point. Got to get younger women, LOL. Yeah, absolutely. A young, vibrant female, absolutely. Full of energy that can take care of things, that can keep the house spotless and get up early and cook you breakfast. Talk about some politically incorrect things to say. What do you guys think about that? Is that politically incorrect or what? It's a good thing some of the females aren't in the chat. Maybe they would bite back on that. Maybe they'd be nipping at us a little bit on some of those politically incorrect things to say. So yeah, I did want to do a broadcast and redo that playing of the video and all that because it was kind of a train wreck yesterday. And what I'm probably going to do is go ahead and just delete that previous video from yesterday. By the way, how is the quality today? How is the audio quality, the audio level, the quality? And I'll be silent for a second so you can see if you're hearing a lot of background noise. Because the air conditioning is running, and so wonder if what you hear as far in the way of background noise. I will say that this A10 Mini Pro here is absolutely silent. Absolutely silent. So there is no fan noise coming from that. That was one of my big drawbacks on the Roland V1 HD, is it had a significant fan noise that this mic did pick up. So we need Bree's opinion on these topics. Yeah. I think women have that that biological clock where they want to have kids by a certain time, and they go into panic mode if they don't. So I think that's how that whole thing works. But yeah, we could get some perspective for sure. All right, what else? Let's visit some of the tabs from yesterday. Here's this expensive piece that we looked at that we decided that we'd kind of pass on that. We didn't really like that shade of red with the gold. It kind of speaking of Bree, we did talk about Bree yesterday. We showed her website. So there it is, BreeFitDance.com, BreeFitDance.com. So yeah, and let's see here. We also showed this limited edition watch. I'm not sure why, because those are actually pretty hard to get. So I don't know that there was a real good reason for showing that. And these other tabs I can close. These other tabs are not needed. So we are only 16 minutes into the show, and we are dragging today. We are absolutely dragging bottom. So no emails from Lance. No, not even that many trolls. So yeah. By the way, I didn't get feedback on the audio. What's the level like on the audio? Do tell. Do tell. By the way, Kyle, I haven't heard about riots in L.A. lately. Have the riots died down there completely? Is that all a done deal there, and they've moved on to these other cities? Or are they doing some rioting in L.A. as well? Do tell. No real noticeable background noise. Okay, good news. Good news. Seems good. Okay. All right, so level's okay and all that kind of good stuff because it's peaking on the meter. So I've got it up peaking pretty good. So as long as it's not clipping, then I think we're good. Trying to think what else we went over that I should show again. What else I'm forgetting? Of course, Brianna Skyped in, but I did not message her to see if she could Skype in today. Let's see, Kyle, it appears that there isn't any of that in my area, at least. It has calmed down regarding the riots. Okay, good. Yeah, I think it's in other cities now. I think they have only a certain number of instigators and so forth, so they can deploy them to certain areas, and I don't think they have enough manpower to, they can do like maybe 3 or 4 different cities at a time, and then they have to rotate them, put them on buses and take them to the next place where they want to stir things up. So I don't think they can simultaneously do like, 50 different cities. I don't think they have enough manpower to do that, the folks that are organizing these riots. So I think they have to go to certain areas, do the best they can, stir things up, and then move on to the next area. What would really be interesting would be if the feds used the RICO statutes to go after these people that are, because the neat thing about RICO, as far as I understand, is you only have to have one crime and then just prove that a whole bunch of people were involved in orchestrating it. They all got together and conspired to make this thing happen. So let's say, for example, you picked one particular riot and you could establish that Soros and other people put money into bringing these rioters there and basically hired professional rioters to do these crimes. then you could connect them to it. Then you could connect the Democratic Party to it, and all the people that are in the media that are perpetuating it and supporting these efforts and so forth. Maybe you could connect them all in a RICO case and arrest them all. Can you imagine if there was a mass arrest and they arrested all the CNN anchors and they arrested all the higher-ups in the Democratic Party and all the Democratic senators and congressmen that were involved and so forth, and they just just gathered them all up and gave them all like RICO charges? Would that be pretty wild? That would be pretty wild. Be entertaining to see. Be entertaining to see all of that go down. Because really, anybody that's encouraging the riots is really part of the problem, right? Could be easily connected and considered to be part of the problem. Send them all to Gitmo. That's right. We all want this, Craig, but it can't happen, says Clive. The fake Clivester is chiming in. I don't know. It might be able to happen. One thing that is happening is the COVID, I guess I shouldn't say that, they'll shut my channel down, but the virus thing, it's disproportionately killing Democrats. So I think 2/3 of those that are dying from the virus are Democrats. So that right there is going to hurt their chances in the election, right? If let's say the final number ends up being 200,000 by election day, let's call it 200,000. If 2/3 of those are Democrats, what's that? What's 2/3 of that? What's that? 150,000 or something? So it'd be 66 was 66. It'd be more than 150, right? Well, no. 66 is 120, 130, but about 130 something or 140,000 people versus 60,000, 60 something thousand on the other side. Say that could be enough to swing. Depending on if a bunch of them are in swing states. See, that's the problem. It needs to be swing states. So maybe Florida, right? Maybe that could swing Florida because it can be very close in votes, right? Let's see. This is Clive, says Clive Wrangler. If this is the real Clive, then send me a text message, Clive. Send me a text message and I'll eat my words. All right. I don't know if maybe it's possible that everybody did not get notifications, but we've only got 11 people watching, and we got nothing to talk about. Got nothing. I got nothing. So we may have to let this thing go. I'm going to call and see if I can get Steve on the phone, though. While we're still live, I'm going to see if I can get Steve and see if he'll answer the phone. We've been broadcasting for 29 minutes.
Yes, Craig.
Hey, I'm live, and I've got your little Treasury logo up in the upper right-hand corner.
Oh, you did it yourself?
Can you glance at it and see what it looks like?
I can.
See what it looks like on your end?
Right. Oh, boy, long day.
And by the way, I discovered something about this software that you need to be aware of is when you put the images in there,
You got to save it.
you can't save it. If you
saved it.
if you shut off the unit, it loses them all.
You saved the software.
Doesn't make any difference. If you shut down the unit and then you restart everything, the images will be gone.
But did you reopen the software?
Yeah, you reopen the
same
software.
File,
Yeah,
the same file.
you can't do it. The images will be gone. Have you tried it?
Now I just finally figured out how to save them so I could turn the software off. And
Yeah, the images will be gone. You got to bring them in each one at a time too. You can't pull it like I tried to drag in like 16 of them.
That doesn't make any sense.
I know it doesn't make any sense, and a lot of people are pissed off about it, including me.
Really?
Yeah, and I did a video about it. So anyway,
It sounds like it's something they can fix.
Blackmagic has always been like this. They've always had little bugs. Hey, that said, it's still more powerful than what we had before, right? But it just got these kludgy things.
How can I see you?
Just go to the live stream. Go to Mid-Atlantic TV and click on the live stream, and you should see your little Treasury Jewelers in the upper right-hand corner.
On the J-World live stream?
It's the second one, part 2. It's the one that's live right now.
Oh, yeah, it looks cool. Yeah, I got it.
Does it look clear?
It does.
Okay.
It does. Everybody's on, huh?
Maybe it should say, I only got 13 people. They're all out partying today. So that's why I called you. Had nothing to do.
Right, well, say hi to everybody.
Hey, Steve says hi to everybody. So,
Yeah.
maybe, do you think you should have one of these that says littletreasury.com on it?
Yeah, then can you do it I can do it in the lower left hand.
Well, the reason I put it up top is because YouTube a lot of times puts stuff along the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Like when an ad pops up and stuff like that. So that's why I put it in the upper right-hand corner. Because usually there's nothing that gets in that way.
Does anyone want to buy something tonight? I'm at $100 below beating last August.
Steve wants to sell something today, guys. If anybody wants to buy something right now, Steve is in a deal making mood. LittleTreasury.com and go there.
Home in 10 minutes.
But it's got to be now. It's got to be right now. You got to call him, and he'll do an out the door deal right now. A deal that will make your head spin. So, all right. So that's good.
Right.
I just wanted to confirm that it looks
Okay.
good, and the quality looks good. Everything looks
Yeah,
good.
it looks beautiful. Yeah, you look. The video looks great, actually.
And what about the audio? Does the audio sound okay? Testing 1, 2, 3.
Both
Testing.
on the phone and in person. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
It's great. Okay, so let's clear the phones.
All right.
Another guy
Clear the
call.
phones. Call in. Deal of the day right now. LittleTreasury.com. Bye.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay, folks, there you go. He's got a 10-minute window here. Anybody that wants a deal, call Steve. Call Steve. He wants to do a deal before the end of the month. He's got to do this deal to close out the month. I think he said he's within $100 of doing more than he did last August, a year ago. He's got to get another $100 sale. Oh, by the way, speaking of things and sales, I shouldn't show you this. He's probably not going to be happy about this. But look what I found on eBay that I bookmarked. I wonder if Kyle's still in there. Kyle, are you still hanging out? Because this is interesting. This is interesting. It's too small for me. For my wrist. I think it is 6.75 inches. We'll go and we'll look at the stats. But this is similar to the one that Steve has. I don't think it's quite as thick as the one that Steve has either. But it's got the springs built in. You know, it's the stretch faux pay. Same exact design as Steve's. And it might be cool. might be cool for somebody like Leslie too. Let's see what size it is. It's yeah, it says it's for women. Where is the... Yeah, because it's a little more trim than his. I think it's more for a woman. Okay, so it is 6.3 inches. 6.3 inch. Inner diameter, approximately 6.3 inch. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. A faux pay bracelet for a pretty good price. Pretty good price. They're usually pretty expensive, folks. They are usually pretty expensive. Even that size, I think, is usually more money than that. The one that Steve has, I think, is like 6,000 or 7,000 or something. It's way up there. So, let's see. Okay. I have a new drone, says Clive. Let's do it, Kyle. Perfect watch. Mine is a 38 millimeter, 18 karat gold, green face, President Datejust. Oh, what do you mean by President Datejust? You mean a Datejust with a President bracelet? Okay, I'll bite. Green face, President Datejust with no date, spring drive movement. Well, then wait. Then it wouldn't be a Datejust. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, obviously that would be fantastic. And let's on the wish list, let's say that it's no more than 12 millimeters thick. Let's make it 11.5 mils thick. Okay, 11.5 mils thick with automatic, right? Hey, let's really get wish list. Let's say 11 mils. Let's get it down to 11 millimeters thick, automatic, basically an oyster case. In other words, a case just like the current date 8, but in 38 mils with a President bracelet with, I wonder if there's a way they could do a President bracelet with micro adjustments and still have a hidden clasp bracelet. Okay? Imagine if they could do that. I don't know how they would do it, right? But that would be pretty wild. And let's see here. What else would we need with that? That'd probably be it. And actually, they should give us a few dial options. They should give us a snowflake dial option. That dial there, we should have a snowflake dial option, but with loom, right? Snowflake with loom. Yeah. I personally don't need date, but I'll take what you described in a heartbeat. Well, he said Datejust with no date, spring drive movement. So he said no date, Kyle. So I guess when he said Datejust, he means that style case and all. And I agree, that style case, or the same as the date 8. I think the cases are pretty much the same between a date 8 and a Datejust. And I would like the case design like the 18238 had with the brushed portions. I think it's classier looking. And of course, the President bracelet would have to have the sleeves, the ceramic sleeves, right? So it doesn't wear. Let's see. I would also have a hard time spending more than $10K on a watch, so it may be a little pricey for me. No, I think they should bring the price in. Since it's a wish list item here, I think they should bring the price of the watch in at $20,000, $19,999. So you'd have to spend more than $10K. Yeah, if you get a gold bracelet and everything, you'd have to spend more than $10K. But I think we should bring it in under $20,000. I think that would be super cool. Imagine that watch. That would be like an everyday wear, just perfect freaking piece. Kyle's in the house. I can see Brett wearing that. For me, I haven't ever gotten too into jewelry. Perhaps when I age a bit more, it would look better on me. Can you get a date chest with a hidden clasp? Yes. Yes, the Jubilee bracelet is available in a hidden clasp, or was. I don't know if it still is. I think some of them still are, though, now that I think about it. I misread what Kevin said initially. Basically, an all-gold oyster perpetual with fluted bezel and a president bracelet, that's exactly what we need. Yeah, and 38 mils, and bring it in at like about 11 mils thick. Absolutely. And yes, Brett's date chest has a hidden clasp on the Jubilee. Yep. And a lot of the stainless steel ones they make have hidden clasps. Not all, but some. And I think they still offer it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe they don't. Maybe they stopped. So, but here's the problem with the hidden clasp is you lose the micro adjustments. I wonder if there's a way they could do the hidden clasp and still have micro adjustments. I guess that would be impossible. I guess it would be impossible. Something to think about. I've seen those too. Okay, I guess you mean the stainless. Yep. All right, well, I think we're going to call it a day, and I may not do a show tomorrow. Obviously, these weekend shows are not very popular, and I may or may not do a show tomorrow, so don't, if you've got plans or whatever, go for it, but we will see. In the meantime, let's I'll show Bree's website on the way out here, and let's see one more comment. Maybe they could do something like the diver extension on your 231, but it needs to be more trim. Yeah, maybe they could do something where, that's a good point. They could do something where the clasp, you rotate it back. You rotate it one way to open it, and you rotate it the other way to extend it a little. And it has the capability to extend. Now, it would look a little bit funky when it was extended. Just like mine looks a little bit funky when it's extended, right? But the idea would be you wouldn't do that often, right? You would just, like, maybe you were working out and your wrist was swelling a little bit, and you just do that for a temporary solution, right? So they might be able to do that and still have it be, once it's pushed all the way in, still have it appear as a normal hidden clasp bracelet, but then have that functionality to extend it. That might be doable. That's a good point, Kyle. Very good point. See, we should design these watches. They should hire us to design these watches, because clearly whoever's doing it now on some of these models, they have no clue what they're doing. Absolutely no clue what they're doing on some of these models. So, absolutely. Okay, on that note, I'm going to wrap it up, and I'm going to show the lovely Brianna's website while I wrap this puppy up. And I say, stay tuned for future shows. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to her channel as well, and all her social media. And we will call it a day. Zodiac uses auto-expanding links. Works well. Okay. Hey, that's a good point. Sort of like the faux pay bracelet does. Oh, Lance sent an email. He got in under the wire. He just got in under the wire. Lance is something. Lance is something. Okay. Yeah, I can tell you right now, I don't like that case design. Let's look at this. And it's a GMT. It's a spring drive. I don't like this case design. They come out with some funky cases on some of these watches, and this is one of them. And of course, it looks like an integral bracelet, which I hate. So, yeah, that would be one that it's titanium. That would be one that I would definitely pass on. It looks like a heavy-duty piece, though. I will give it that. It does look like a heavy-duty piece. But yeah, I'm not enamored with the looks on that puppy. So yeah, we'll pass on that one. All right, back to Bree, and I'm going to go in the other room and wrap this up. Derek says, "What, Craig? You're ending now? Just got notified." Yeah, I don't know what happened to the notifications, but yeah, we had a very, very lean show today. But hopefully next time will be a little bit better. A little bit, maybe the attendance will be up a little bit next time.